Most respected teacher, dear Sangha, today is the 22nd of November in the year 2025. I am in Plum village in France. And I have a bell master, but you cannot see her. But you know that she is there, inviting the bell for us today. I've been asked to talk about inclusiveness, and when I hear the word inclusiveness, I always think of a certain bodhisattva, a bodhisattva whose name is Sada Paribhuta. Sada means always, A means not, and Paribhuta means despising. Always not despising, maybe better to say never despising anyone. And if you have a version of the new chanting book, then you will find on page 100 how we invoke the name, how we evoke the Bodhisattva Sada Paribhuta. And I would like to read for you this invocation. Or evocation, I think is a better word. We evoke this Bodhisattva in ourselves. We evoke your name, Sada Paribhuta. We aspire to learn your way of looking deeply with the eyes of non-discrimination in order to see the true qualities of others. Whenever you meet someone, you bow respectfully and say in appreciation, I respect you deeply, for you are a future Buddha. We vow to look deeply into ourselves, to recognize the positive qualities that are in us, in order to accept and to love ourselves. We vow to water only the positive seeds in ourselves and in others. Then our thoughts, words, and deeds will give rise to self-confidence and acceptance of ourselves, our children, and all those we meet. We vow to look deeply with the eyes of non-discrimination, to see that the joy and success of the other person is also our joy and success. We want to act and to speak with respect and humility. We are determined to practice loving speech, to help people who lack confidence in themselves see that they are wonders of the universe. We know that when we are able to remove the barriers of a separate self, we shall be able to transform our complexes of superiority, inferiority, and equality, and realize true happiness and freedom. Sada Paribhuta is a bodhisattva who is mentioned in the Lotus Sutra. And this bodhisattva specialized in seeing the Buddha nature in everyone. And so whenever they met someone, they would always say, homage to you, a Buddha to be, because the message of the Lotus Sutra is that we are all Buddhas to be. And the people did not like being told that they were Buddhas to be. They prefer to see that the Buddha is some godlike superhuman, and we are just living beings. We are not the same at all. They were comfortable with that. They did not like to hear they were Buddha to be. And so they would throw tomatoes at Sadapaributta or other things. But it did not dissuade him from seeing that everyone has the Buddha nature. The Buddha nature means that everyone is different and everyone manifests the Buddha nature in a different way. So we cannot expect everybody to be a Buddha the same as other Buddhas. And our teacher has always said that one Buddha is not enough. So we need to do all we can to recognize the Buddhas around us, the Buddha in ourselves and the Buddha in others. And only after we have recognized the Buddha in ourselves can we recognize the Buddha in others. So we need to practice inclusivity of ourselves. We know that we have talents, we have things to offer to the world, and we have to recognize that. And if I cannot see my talent, I cannot see anything that I can offer to the world, I need to ask my Sangha, please water my flower, please tell me what I can offer to the world. Because the beautiful thing about the Sangha is that we can see the Buddha nature in each member of the Sangha, manifesting in different ways. So after we have every day, we need to recognize our own true qualities. And as I said, if we haven't recognized them yet, we need to ask others, please tell me, what are my true qualities? And after that, we need to look and recognize the true qualities in all those we are interacting with today. We have interacted with today. That is a very important part of Sangha building, to be able to see the talents of the other members of our Sangha and to encourage those talents and make those talents contribute to the Buddha, which is the future Sangha. Not everybody has the same talents. Some people are very good at reading, at reciting, reciting the mindfulness trainings. And we need to recognize that. And we ask that person to read for us, to recite the mindfulness trainings for us, because we know that when we hear that person read and recite, we are inspired. But it doesn't mean to say that everyone in the Sangha has the capacity to inspire us by the way they read. That is something that is handed down from our ancestors. It's not something that we just have to make up. And then another person in the Sangha is very good at arranging flowers. And so when we need flowers arranged, we will ask that person. And if we ask them and they say, no, today I am tired, of course we have to ask someone else. So, that is something we need to recognize. Otherwise we get caught in what is called the equality complex. And we think equality complex means everybody is good at everything. But I think as us human beings, we cannot be like that. At the moment, I'm reading a book which I like very much. I also read a book the other day. It's called Buddhism and Science, and that book is very boring. It is all about the technicalities of what Buddhism can can offer to science, what science can offer to Buddhism, and things like that. I found it very boring. But then I found this other book is called The Origins of the Species by Lynn Margulis and Dorian Sagan. And this book is really, it just tells me that Buddhism and science are not two different things. It is a book that is about, I think, microbiology, about how our species has originated, and we see in us, in our body, we see all the non-me elements, how the calcium that make our bones and our teeth and other things, that calcium, it has been laid down in us for 3 billion years, and our body, it contained the history of the universe as well. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah. So now I understand that when we touch the earth and we see that we are a child of Mother Earth, a child of the cosmos, it's very real. So that is the other side to our talents, and to see ourselves as we are. And it means humility. I think we just read that we vow to speak with humility and respect. Humility is the ability to see ourselves as we are, to see ourselves with all our shortcomings, which, just like our talents, have been handed down to us from our ancestors. This is why we have the sixth mantra. You remember the sixth mantra as something, you are partly right. Because when somebody blames us, we say to ourselves, okay, you're partly right, and maybe I have that shortcoming, but it's not exactly mine. It's been handed down to me by my ancestors. And if somebody praises us, we say the same. You are partly right. I'm manifesting this talent, but it's not exactly mine. It has been handed down to me by my ancestors, my blood ancestors, and my spiritual ancestors. So practice ourselves as we are. And that is wonderful, because then we accept other people as they are. Another point that was mentioned in what we just read is that of sympathetic joy. We know that true love is composed of 4 elements: Maitri, loving kindness; Karuna, compassion; Mudita, joy; and Upeksha, inclusiveness. So these 4 things, they go together. When we have inclusiveness, we have sympathetic joy. This means that I don't expect the praise to come to me and not to you. And when you, a member of my Sangha or someone else, member of my family, when you do something well, you are praised, you are successful. That is also my joy. And the last sentence of this of this evocation of Sada Paribhuta is about the three complexes. And we all have these complexes, comparing ourselves with others. We feel that we are better than others, or we are worse than others, or we feel we're just as good as others. And all these complexes, they come from the idea of being a separate self. We have some very useful practices to help us let go of these complexes, these ideas. And they are the practices of touching the earth. We have the 5 touchings of the earth and the 3 touchings of the earth. And we can practice them together as a Sangha so that we have the Sangha energy, and we can also practice them on our own. When we practice the 3 touchings of the earth, we are in touch with our ancestors and our descendants, both in our blood family and in our spiritual family. And we recognize that we have judgments, we have criticisms of our ancestors or our descendants. But when we are in the touching the earth position, we let go of all those judgments and criticism. We recognize that that ancestor, that descendant, and an ancestor means anyone who's been ordained longer than you have, and a descendant, someone who's been ordained less long than you have. We recognize that they have the shortcomings, but at the same time we remind ourselves, we do not criticize, we do not blame that person for their shortcomings. We accept them just as they are, because we ourselves, we also have shortcomings. So this is very, very helpful for us to be able to let go of seeing ourselves as better or worse or equal. Equal we have to avoid, because equal means that we are all the same. And the richness of our Sangha is because we are not all the same. When we touch the earth, we come back to, with our mindful breathing, we come back to ourselves, and we place ourselves on the earth in a position where our heart and our brain are on the same level. And in that position, it's much easier to let go of the idea that I'm separate. In the second of the 3 touchings, we are in touch with the great beings who are around us. We recognize that there are many bodhisattvas alive, living on this earth with us now. Doctors without frontiers, those who are taking care of our Mother Earth so well. Oh, that's another thing I like about this book. It's about Mother Earth is a living being. We have to recognize her as a living being, because if we don't, we will think that we can kick her, we can hurt her. But if we see she's a living being, we will take care of her. This is one of the very important teachings that we received in Plum Village from our teacher, to see the earth as a living being in order to take care of her. So when we touch the earth, we let go. We let go of all our plans. We let go of all our blaming. We let go of all our complexes. We let go of all our pride. We can say, if we like, as we touch the earth, I am nothing. I am nothing means that I am made up of everything that is not me. And as scientists, they have this insight about non-self. But actually, we don't need scientific equipment to have this insight. As practitioners, as someone who practices mindfulness, concentration, and insight, we also have the insight that I am not a separate self. I am made up of everything that is not me. And that way of deep transformation within us, which lead to happiness, is also the way for us to be truly inclusive. Now I would like to also come to another concrete practice. It is the practice of beginning anew. It is a practice which all Sanghas need, at least the core members of the Sangha. It's a practice which the trustees, I think they also need to be a Sangha. They need to practice beginning anew. Beginning anew can be practiced once a month or once a fortnight. We learn how to know ourselves better and know each other better through beginning anew. And the two essential parts of beginning anew, which can solve many, many difficulties, are the sincere flower watering and the sincere admission of our own shortcomings. When we practice beginning anew, we need to look deeply. So it's very useful because it means that you know that in the Sangha there's going to be a beginning anew session. And so before that session you will prepare yourself and you will look deeply at all those who will be there in order to be able to see what concretely can I say to inspire with confidence the other members of my Sangha. And this involves you remembering things that they have said, they have done, which you know have contributed, offered a lot to you. But if you just have a beginning anew and you haven't looked deeply before, you may not know what to say. So this is opportunity, a real opportunity for us to know each other. And when we share, we don't say something like, oh, you're a wonderful person. That is not concrete. We have to say, it was wonderful. It was wonderful when the other day we felt tension in our group and you were there and you said whatever you said and immediately the tension was relieved. Please continue to do like that. We really benefit from it. We need this kind of a concrete flower watering. And then the next part is to be able to see what unskillful things I have done. And this also takes deep looking, because often we do something unskillful and we forget about it. we don't want to look at it. And so normally before I come to beginning a new session, I always see something unskillful that I've done. And with humility, we have to express that. And when we express something unskillful that we have done, we do not do it because we expect other people to also express what they have done. We do not do it with the idea that it will point out their weaknesses to them. We do it simply because someone has to take responsibility for that unskillfulness. And if I don't take responsibility for it, who else will? We know that I'm not the same person now as I was when I did that, but all the same, I know that I have to take that responsibility. And when I do, anyone that I hurt will feel relief. Relief because they know that I'm practicing to not do that again. Now we are coming out of the age of individualism. And it's wonderful that we can do this. And to me, the only route out of individualism is Sangha building. Sangha building is to care for other members of our Sangha. We think that, oh, we cannot do beginning anew, we have too many more important things to do. That is because of our education. Beginning anew is the most important thing we can do. It's more important than any meeting to solve difficulties, because it solves the basic difficulties. The basic difficulties are our differences, our different experiences of life, the feelings that come from those different experiences. And in meetings when we have an opinion, that opinion is always based on our feelings, our perceptions. It's not based on logic, although that is what we usually think it is. And that is why we need to do the basic practice. And also when we have meetings, they should be in the spirit of the practice and not just to debate. There is in the chanting book, we should find this. In the chanting book there is the contemplation to be read at the beginning of a meeting. And a meeting should always have a bell. A bell to begin, and then the contemplation, which should be read well, read slowly, so that every word becomes meaningful. The contemplation that if I become irritated and I say something out of irritation in the meeting, there will be a sound of the bell and I will apologize, and then we will only then will we continue with the meeting. So a meeting is a practice, and one time our teacher said a meeting can be you can feel you're in the Pure Land in a meeting. That is the kind of perfect meeting where everybody can contribute their experience, their knowledge, and so on. And everyone else can listen deeply. And in the end, we just We just listen deeply and we don't need any more, anything else. Having listened deeply, we can easily come to a synthesis of our ideas. Now I have taken up all my time, so I think I better stop and we better listen to the sound of the bell. And I wish you a true practice during this whole day, not just half a day of mindfulness, but the whole AGM will be a practice. Breathing, listening deeply, and contributing your own experience, your own wisdom, your own insight. Thank you for listening.